Hi everyone, this is audap, and we're going to take a look at Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. This game originally appeared on the GameCube in 2003, and it is still only available as a GameCube title. No digital options exist so far. I'm hoping that they change that sometime soon.
Nintendo.
You too will come to understand fear as I have.
Ah yes, Silicon Knights. How they have fallen. From the creators of the Legacy of Kain series to two rather successful games on the GameCube, and then did nothing. It's quite a shame, really, right? This game is an action game. I don't know if it's really a survival horror game, although at the time that's what it was called. GameCube era was Nintendo's probably most experimental era for new franchises and gameplay. This game was originally conceived for the Nintendo 64, but due to the long development cycle was converted over and brought to the GameCube. There are still remnants of the 64's architecture in there, but for the most part they made quite a few improvements to the original concept and the original engine that was working on the Nintendo 64 version. That's pretty well documented. Let's take a quick look at the options. You have your subtitles on and off. You can choose to play in 4:3 or widescreen. Rumble if you have a quarter controller. You can do some volume adjustment and brightness adjustment. And set surround sound or stereo or mono. This game also displays in progressive scan. I know, it used to actually be an option. A long time ago. Anyway, let's play. So we are not actually going to carry over the old information. We're going to start fresh.
Flesh, bone, bound together with the oddest magical incantation. This wretched book is where it all began so long ago. Before time, before humanity. I am Dr. Edward Roivas. I am a clinical psychologist. I am also dead.
No.
This is not my story, nor even the story of the Roivas family. It is the story of humanity. Like it or not, believe it or not, as you will. Your perceptions will not change reality, but simply color it. Humanity has been on the edge of extinction for 2 millennia, ignorant of so much and dependent on so few. The Guardians grow restless, their time once again near. Whether by fate or misfortune, my family has crossed their path, and they didn't take kindly to it. Their attention turns to my granddaughter, for she is the last of my line, and the last hope for humanity.
You can see you can target different body parts. That's very helpful later on. Many other...
Remember me, Alex.
Hello?
Miss Alexandra Roivas?
Yeah, who's this?
This is Inspector LaGrasse of the Rhode Island Police. I'm sorry to disturb you, but there's been an accident with your grandfather.
I'll be on the next flight out.
Very Nintendo 64 rendering there.
Ah, Miss Roivas, I'm pleased to meet you. I trust you had a pleasant trip?
Yes, I suppose so, considering.
Yes, my condolences. This is most unpleasant. It's a shame we couldn't meet under brighter circumstances.
Yes, it is. Can we get this over with, please?
Of course, this way. But I must warn you, it's not a pleasant sight. I'm afraid there's not much to see.
Oh, okay. If there's not much to see, why do I have to see it?
Miss Roivas, is that your grandfather, Edward?
Yes, it's him. He's wearing our family ring. I don't understand. Why are you showing me this? Can't you check dental records or something? What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. It's my job, lady. You're the only living relative, and no, we can't check dental records. There's no head. Now, none of this makes sense. There's no sign of intrusion, and there was certainly a lot of force used here. I have never seen anything like this in my 20 years on the force. We have no evidence except for the body, and what's left doesn't say much. Ugh, we don't have a single clue.
Well, you better find out who did this. I'm not leaving Rhode Island until you do. There must be some clue in this old mansion revealing what happened. I want answers.
So do I. I wish I had some.
Shocked by your grandfather's mysterious death and frustrated at the incompetence of the local police, Alex vows to uncover the truth. She decides to search their mansion, the place where Edward conducted his research. If there was a tie to his past, and possibly a tie to his murder, it would be here. So many horror games at the time were basically aping Resident Evil. Portraits of the ancestral Rovius line in the foyer. Portraits of the ancestral Rovius line the foyer walls. Their faces reveal a dark, brooding edge. There is something about each one that gives the viewer an unsettling feeling. So this game is quite different than Resident Evil. The controls are not Resident Evil, and the action isn't set up like Resident Evil either, since this is not necessarily a resource management game. As always with Nintendo, their products are always at 60 frames. A wooden plaque is fastened to the door, taking the place of the lock. A colored sigil is carved into the wood above a wide slot. The slot is just wide enough to insert a narrow blade. It's not a perfect game by any means, but it is quite a memorable one. The grand piano stands here, awaiting the hands of a decent musician. Unfortunately, Edward never really lived up to that description, and as such, the piano fell into disuse. The illustration features a collection of strange line designs related to each other in a cyclical manner. There appears to be some significance to it, but it isn't particularly evident. Of course, longtime fans will know what that means. The table is set for one, Alex's grandfather. Edward's private nature meant that he never had many visitors, and this is the lonely evidence of it. Hopefully that's bright enough for you folks out there. So we can use items. Use. This function allows the manipulation of inventory items within the current room. Equip. This function allows the current character to ready a weapon. Check. This function allows the examination of objects within the inventory. Pressing L or R allows switching back and forth between sections within the interface. Now we have our nice little map. And then we can review cinemas. Let's adjust the brightness more. I have a feeling it's going to be too dark. For the videos, at least. Oh, okay. Never mind. How about that? A beautiful carriage clock. The hands appear to be stuck, yet the clock continues to tick, with the time permanently set to 3:33. There is a key in the back of the clock, presumably for winding it. Should Alex wind the key? Yeah, sure. Alex picks up the desk clock and pulls the key from it. However, there is something odd about the key. It isn't for winding the clock at all. It looks like a dresser key. Portraits of the ancestral Rovius line. The foyer walls. Their faces reveal a dark brooding edge. There's something about each one that gives the viewer an unsettling feeling. Okay, well, they all say the same thing. I guess that makes sense. Nothing there. A slight draft can be felt issuing from beneath this bookshelf, almost as though a vent or empty space is behind it. Almost. This looming grandfather clock seems to stand ominously in the corner, gazing on this empty room with an almost patriarchal air. Use the stick to adjust the clock hands. Should Alex adjust the clock hands? Sure, why not? And if you notice, the character will look at things of interest to just subtly give you a hint of where you should look for the next section of the game. small shrine of candles. Their placement appears to be very deliberate, matching the etchings on the table and the wall's illustration. The candles are unlit. A diabolic drawing of a stack of human bodies, each one cemented into place. What twisted psyche could have executed this drawing? Though disturbing, it is meticulously rendered down to the subtlest detail. The precise anatomy of fractured bones and the convolutions of spines and ribs entwine into a mesmerizing sight. An ancient Roman weapon, a gladius, is on display above the fireplace mantel, another token of eclectic junk. This is a bizarre drawing of a cyclopedian city, its immense architecture bathed in an unnatural fog. The detail is incredible. As Alex studies it, she can almost imagine the city's inhabitants. A painting of a jungle-shrouded building. It seems to be a temple in Asia, perhaps from Thailand or Cambodia. Very specific knowledge. She's a well-read woman. This looks like some kind of mask. The face is serene in composure, with a faint hint of a smile tugging at the corners of the mouth and eyes, closed in deep meditation. This Gothic cathedral is silhouetted against a stark light. The image is vicious and devoid of subtlety. Every brushstroke echoes the spikes of architecture, imbuing a violent feeling, as though the building itself is a harsh imposition on reality. A grim picture indeed. Large leather-bound antique book rests upon the colored desk. Should Alex read the book? Nah, I'm not gonna read it. Let's explore a little more before we read that book. Oh, once again, game characters are obsessed with being size 0. But that's okay. Alex is actually really cool, so, you know, she gets a pass. I'm just being jealous, you know. I would have at least one time been that skinny in my life. Sadly, not the case for me. But I am at least willing to admit that the hate isn't because I think people can't be too thin. It's because I wish I was that thin. A brass frame mirror is set into the wall. The mirror's direction can be adjusted by means of 2 crankshafts set below it. A curious device. Is it related to this telescope in some way? Should Alex adjust the mirror? I guess, yeah. Let's do it. Oh, I need a crankshaft, darn it. I need 2 things. A globe cradled in a wooden frame. Its glossy surface is painted in the likeness of an ancient map. A lens is situated in the northern hemisphere above a label that reads, "There be dragons here." This door is locked. Locked. Portrait scan. Oh. Locked. Oh, well, at least nothing. All right. And nothing. Okay. And thankfully they walked down the stairs. And up the stairs in a reasonable rate. Alright, now let's read the book.
I had no knowledge of what was to come, nor did I care. How the knowledge changed me, it will also change you. As you read this, you will come to learn fear as I have. You too will come to understand, or you will perish. To think that once I could not see beyond the veil of our reality. To see those who dwell behind. My life now has purpose, for I have learned the frailty of flesh and bone. I was once a fool. Where is Quies Candamest? Where is Conservondain?
Facusatis aquae sumat, et animus eorum confirma. Pugna huis, dia sit modo prima multarum, si inceptum conficiamus.
Quam primum, Centurio Augustus.
Volo res
I would like to
militaris.
compliment you once more on your battle tactics. Our enemies did not have a chance. Do you believe that it really exists, Centurion?
I do not doubt our Emperor's beliefs, or his orders. But if we are to retrieve the artifact, then we must be strong and patient.
Oh, it's gonna get stoned. The dais on the floor is finely crafted, inlaid with gold and gems that Pius can't identify. A strong linear design is situated in the middle, and is equally unknown by the Roman soldier. All the characters you play as have different speeds and animations, which is some pretty good attention to detail. It's not something common even, or all that common even in today's games. A ladder leads into the dank heart of the labyrinth. Danger lurks beneath, yet Pius' courageous resolve does not buckle. Should Pius climb down the ladder? Of course. A strange granite block lies on the floor. Price has picked up a granite block. Oh, another granite block. Let's finish them off. Since we don't want them to come back and bite us in the ass. Or any other body part. Not specifically just the ass. The game was most notable for its sanity system. So as characters ran into objects or situations or enemies that were hard for them to believe, their sanity would drop or would raise. Well, the sanity meter would raise further, but their sanity levels would drop. Does that make sense? We'll see for ourselves. As your sanity increases, then your perception of the world starts to decrease. Health meter. This meter represents life energy. Every time a character takes damage, the level will get lower. When it reaches 0, the character will die. In case you couldn't figure that kind of stuff out. So there is combat in the game, and it's okay combat, but it's not really the focus of the game. So you do have to be or you have to be conscious of the character's space and how much room they need to swing. That all factors into your attacks. This wall is prominently decorated with a strange lined symbol carved into the granite. Cut into the wall is a square hole lined with scratches as though something had been removed from it. Wonder what could it be? What could it be? Oh, that was way off, huh? I guess I should pay attention to the thing that's standing right in front of my face, huh? So I can't quite get to it yet. But we will change that. Well, I'm still missing a block. Well, the block is right there, though. Alright, let's go through that door. A very inviting door. So, what's the big deal about sanity effects? Well, sanity effects of course make it harder for you to play, since your vision could be obscured, the screen could tilt, or any number of fourth wall effects can happen. But again, we'll start seeing those as we play. Pious, you must prove your worth by destroying this statue. Pressing R will enable Pious to select which target to attack. Releasing R slightly and then pressing it again will cycle between multiple targets. Pious can attack specific body parts while locked on an enemy by moving the control stick and pressing A. Use up to attack the head, left and right to attack the arms. Again, a bit of a tutorial, kind of get you through the basics of the game. Plus, it's letting you know he's probably not going to make it. A button attached to a small pylon softly illuminates the room. A bizarre energy seems to radiate from it. Should I push a button? Yes, of course you should. Oh yeah, that doesn't look threatening at all. Let's continue to explore for the king. Shaped like a delicate dome, a pale blue statuette floats gracefully above the pedestal. Should Pious claim this artifact? Yeah, why not? Do it.
Eons have passed since then, and I have learned much. All at once, I understood. The forces of the multiverse all made sense under the transcending power of Ulyath. No mountain too high, no city too far. Face me, and you shall surely perish.
Alex has acquired the Tome of Eternal Darkness. Strangely, with the Tome of Eternal Darkness in her possession, Alex can read the page. It is a chapter from the tome itself. Should Alex take the chapter? Oh yes, of course she should. Alex found a chapter page entitled The Binding of a Corpse God, or of the Corpse God. Well, the game doesn't look too bad. Obviously, it's still not first generation 3D, but second generation 3D. So the characters are a bit low polygon, but the environments are still pretty good. But again, the focus of this game is to have a very rich story and very moody environments, which it does really well. Okay, we got our sword. Oh yeah. Alex places the blade in the slot but feels it pushed back, as if the magic of the blade does not fit the lock. Ah, darn.
I cannot say what was the true beginning, nor am I sure of its end. So perhaps here is the best place to start. I am reminded of ideas I first encountered in Sir James George Fraser's book, The Golden Bough, a study in magic and religion. We are overwhelmed by a very human need to weave a web of meaning where there may be none. Since time immemorial, ancient peoples have dressed up their lack of knowledge as gods and demons. I have discovered that sometimes the fates of gods and mortals intertwine, and legends are born.
Thy time is done, great ancient. Forever in shadow will you be master of chaos, and to fade to nothing in obscurity will be thy fate. My master has planned many millennia for this day. It is the true chaos of all things that you now must be entombed amongst the beings of flesh and bone.
You have a great monument here, Mantarok. It is a pity that no one will ever recognize it as yours. May the darkness claim thee, crawling chaos and damned beast. No longer will thy reign be kept over the ancients you have kept imprisoned. Thou hast seen the last of this world.
I know, it's still pretty dark. It's dark for me, too.
Not even these mythical fables can keep me amused. There has to be something to do around here. I only wish something that fantastic and of higher purpose could happen to me.
Ah. Hey. The door is firmly closed, sealing the temple. Perhaps there is another exit somewhere inside. Engraved on the floor is a striking design featuring the sun rising above the edge of the world. Design on the wall appears to depict a time of the day. Perhaps the candles do too? Let's try not to step on the booby traps, if we can help it. Everybody keeps closing the door on me. When located by creatures, a sanity loss occurs, causing a decrease in the level of sanity meter and the character to pulse green. Beware, sanity loss affects perception and eventually health. Sanity meter. This meter represents a character's sanity. Every time she meets a monster, her sanity will lower. The lower the sanity meter gets, the more the character will hallucinate. Performing a finishing move on a creature recovers sanity. And looks cool, which is the more important thing. Design on the wall appears to depict the time of the day. Perhaps candles do too. Press AXY to light candles or extinguish the candles. Engraved on the floor is a striking design featuring a starry sky filling the heavens. Okay, starry sky, no problem. No light. Okay, so we can't open the door all the way. Oh, whoops. I'm getting tired, so. Okay, I can't even do anything with it, so. A statue of a goddess, delicately sculpted from the sandstone. It casts an alert eye over everyone who enters the temple. There is a strange necklace about its neck. Should Elia take the necklace from the statue? Sure, she shouldn't, but let's do it. Elia has required a strange necklace. This necklace can be used to heal Elia. Make sure that Elia does not move when the spell is being cast. No. Okay. Engraved on the floor is a striking design featuring the sun sinking below the edge of the world. A bronze necklace sits atop an ancient clay urn. Striking design featuring a brightly burning sun. Oh, okay. Let's see, featuring something below the edge of the world. Okay, can't do anything. Can't do anything with it though. Oh, wait. How did I go the wrong way? Ah, of course I did. Why would I ever choose to go the correct way the very first time I play? I wish I was that smart. I wish I could just pick the stuff that the designers wanted you to pick the first time. Well, see, you have to step on this one. A small pedestal covered with decorative etchings stands before the wall. The blowgun upon it must have some special significance for it to be the focal point of this display. Said Elia, take the blowgun. Yeah, sure, take it. Oops, come on, take it. You want it. Yeah. Oh,